If you've ever experienced a learner who repeatedly refuses to do as you've asked and doesn't respond to your lower level strategies, you'll know how quickly that can turn into a counterproductive, confrontational and highly stressful situation. In this film, I'm going to take you through 5 high level strategies effective in dealing with escalated non-compliance. This is the second of 2 films. In part 1, I dealt with lower level strategies, and if you missed those, you'll find them in my playlist. Now, once again, keep watching to the end of this film because I will give you some bonus don'ts, things to avoid doing if a situation does in fact escalate. Now, if you're new to my channel or you've never met me before, I'm Lisa Miller and I'm an education consultant specialising in behaviour management. If you don't want to miss any of the tips and tricks I post every week, subscribe to my channel and maybe even give me a little like if you found the film useful. Now, let's not waste any of your time. Let's get stuck straight in. Your aim is always to start with lower level strategies and move on to the higher level manoeuvres only when strictly necessary. But if you used a choice statement, such as, if you choose to talk, you choose to move, action it. So number 1, never repeat a warning, action it. Number 2, when you do action your choice statement, try an empathetic statement to go along with it. For example, I know you've had a very long day, but you've chosen to continue to talk, so you've chosen to move. That's very effective at keeping your tone reasonable and non-confrontational and can really help stop the situation from escalating. Now, number 3, to prevent your authority inadvertently becoming the focus of any escalating situation, try championing. That's where you overtly reference the needs of the entire group when you reiterate an instruction. For example, in continuing to talk and refusing to move, you are disrespecting everyone in this room who is working. And that's really good at showing that learner and the rest of the class that you're acting on their behalf and that they're choosing to disrespect the group and not just you. Number 4, it's important that you don't let a situation go on for too long and that you recognise when to discreetly exit a learner or to seek assistance. When you do, make sure that you use procedural language as opposed to a colleague's name. For example, unfortunately, you're now going to have to exit the room, as opposed to, unfortunately, I'm going to have to now call for Mrs. Brown. And that way you avoid undermining yourself. When a colleague does come into the room, step back. This is not the time for you to have a second bite of the cherry. Defer any conversation you have with your learner to when you are both calmer and less stressed, but do make sure you do your own follow-up. Number 5, to make sure your class don't become distracted or unsettled by a situation you've just dealt with, adopt what I call cabin crew mode. That's where you make sure your demeanour is calm and relaxed so that your class can see that you are confident and in control, just like you'd expect from cabin crew on a flight. Now, all the strategies I've just given you are higher level. If you missed the lower level techniques film, check out part 1 in my playlist. But for now, as promised, here are my list of don'ts, things to avoid if a situation escalates. Don't undermine yourself or your position by behaving in a reactionary way, such as adding to the consequences, using their report as a bargaining tool, or taking away previous gains. Don't be thrown by what I call chase me behaviours, usually nervous responses by the pupil such as eye rolling and smirking or giggling, but behaviours that tempt the teacher to respond. Simply identify them and move forward. I'll show you. I can see you're uncomfortable, but let's put that to one side. Now I need you to get back to task. Above all, don't inflame a situation by using aggressive body language or raising your voice. You always want to model the demeanour you wish them to adopt, and you've got a far greater chance of them doing so if you look calm and in control. Now, I hope you found these strategies useful. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel or give me a little like if you found this film useful. Thanks for watching and hopefully see you next time.